Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. I haven't done one of these monthly wrap-ups in a long ass time, but maybe I'm gonna get back into it. Who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna tell you about the 9 books I read in December. Okay, so let me tell you about 2 of them fast before I forget what they were because I don't have them in front of me. One of them was This is the Beehive by Sarah something. I read it in audiobook, started it yesterday. It was short, I think 4 hours in audio. And it's about a woman, I'll put the cover somewhere. It's about a woman who has been involved with a married man and he dies. And basically it's several weeks after his death. It may be longer than that, actually. She's his solicitor. So they met when she was drafting up his will and all of that stuff. Have had an affair for a number of years, on and off. She's also married. And when he dies, there's really no way for her to talk about it with anyone. She has been really kind of, you know, you need to leave her. I'm going to leave my husband. Choose me, you know, this whole time. So I really enjoyed the book, even though I don't necessarily like books that are basically about how people make bad decisions. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I like the way that the book was laid out. The other book that I read that I don't have a physical copy of is Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, I believe. And I was recommended that book through the 12 Friends 12 Books Challenge last year. So what I've been calling that book is a cross between Harry Potter and the Magicians, which already, you know, have some similarities, and the Hunger Games. So basically, people with magical ability, some magical ability, go to this school, are sent off to go to school and learn how to be magicians or wizards or sorcerers, whatever. I can't remember the exact word that they use in the book, but something's been going on the last several years so that it's gotten more and more dangerous. More and more monsters are escaping from wherever the monsters are in the void and coming into the school, and fewer students are surviving to graduation, which involves getting through this like labyrinth or whatever of monsters. And our main character has been basically alone and picked on and weird and all of that stuff her whole school career, and this is her junior year and she's trying to figure out how she's going to survive. And of course she starts to get friends and the popular boy starts paying attention to her. So there's all of that happens. It's been recommended to me a number of times. I think Naomi Novik is a pretty popular author in the fantasy world. She wrote several other books that have gotten a lot of good reviews, I think, like Uprooted, and there's one more. I started Uprooted and didn't get very far into it, but I might give it another try because I really liked Deadly Education. And I will move on to the next book in that series as well. All right, so then the other books that I read, one was The Removed by Brandon Hobson. So The Removed is a book that I got from my book of the month when I still had that subscription. I think I got it towards the end of my subscription. I didn't read a whole lot about it, but by the last couple of months of my BOTM subscription, I was basically just picking really the BIPOC book. You know, whatever the BIPOC books were is what I was picking. So The Removed came in one of those last boxes, and it turns out to be about a Native family, a Cherokee family, who 15 years prior to our story, their 15-year-old kid in the family was shot by a police officer. So fast forward 15 years later, the youngest child in the family is really struggling with substance abuse. Dad has Alzheimer's The older daughter is really kind of looking for love in all the wrong places. So I thought it was a really great story about, and then the mom is really just trying to hold everybody together. I thought it was a really great story about family and how it continues to be impacted by major events that happen. There's an old story woven through about a Cherokee elder. I think elder's the right word versus like myth, because he really existed. And he was someone who resisted the Trail of Tears when the US government was basically moving natives off of their land. So he's sort of like a story of inspiration to the family and to this community because he resisted. So I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. The Taking of Jake Livingston has been on my TBR for several months. I was carrying it around in October thinking I was going to read it, and I never did. So this one is about 16-year-old Jake, who is a medium. He can see dead people and souls that have not moved on. And he has started being haunted by the soul of, or the ghost of, a school shooter who killed several kids and then killed himself. And Jake's trying to figure out why this guy, this soul, this ghost continues to be able to have impact on the world, even though he's supposed to be a ghost. So the story is told with what's happening with Jake right now, as he is also trying to navigate getting friends, and the new cute boy starts to like him, and the journal entries of Sawyer, who is the school shooter. So once Jake finds that that book, he knows what's happening. And you know what? I actually think I did a review of this on A Box in a Book, so I will try and remember to put that in the cards. I also did one, I believe, for the Last Quintista, so I will link that, but I would definitely recommend this book. It is a science fiction. A 12 or 13-year-old girl joins her family on a ship that is being evacuated from Earth because Halley's Comet is about to hit it. And when she wakes up 380 years later, things are not what she expects. 4 stars, at least. Vesper Teen by Margaret Rogerson. Loved it. Wasn't sure. I mean, I was pretty sure I was going to look at the cover. You know, it has all the things that I love. Fantasy, dead people, another weird main character who doesn't have any friends and is really misunderstood, who takes it upon, who really feels a lot of responsibility for her family and her community. Those aren't the words that she would use. She's basically in training to be a nun who helps clear souls out of dead bodies. And it turns out that maybe she's being called by her higher power to do something more and something bigger than that. This book, if you like this book, Felice is, and the Bartimaeus trilogy, and anything else by Jonathan Stroud would be great if you're into middle grade. This one I believe is YA. I think the main character is 18, maybe 17 or 18. It doesn't really say. There is no romance really, but there are those like twinkles, you know, that she and sort of like the enemies to lovers thing is going to happen probably in book 2. But I really enjoyed this book. I really love the cover. I do believe it was also a special edition in one of the bookish boxes, and I'm going to look into that because I really want to see what the special edition looks like. 4.5 stars. There's no diversity in it though. Like if you're into like that, not this. All right. The Heart Principle is the 3rd book in Hellmong's series that includes the Love Hypothesis and whatever the second one was. I didn't read it. So the first one though, I really loved. This one was very similar. So I also loved it for the same reasons. Didn't feel a lot of like differences, to be honest with you. But the main character is suffering from some pretty severe anxiety, and is diagnosed, or at least told by her therapist, that she may be on the autism spectrum. And weird main character doesn't have a lot of friends, has a lot of pressure from her family of origin. Dad is dying, and she's a concert cellist, I think, or concert violinist or something like that. And she's really kind of in the middle of a major kind of mental health crisis. And she meets a man. She actually, and her fiance wants them to have an open relationship for a little bit before they settle down. So she wants to find someone to have a fling with, but of course, that's not what happens in our book, which is a romance. And if you've read the other books, this one is Quan's story, so Michael's best friend, and Anna is the main character's name. Okay, another romance, Bombshell, which is the first in the Hell's Bells series by Sarah MacLean. This book, I really enjoyed it a lot. I've read at least one other one by Sarah MacLean in the past, and this one is about a woman who is trying to basically mete out justice to douchebag husbands who are horrible to their wives and mistresses, while also trying to figure out whether or not she wants to be in a relationship with this guy that left her high and dry 2 years ago. So she is a gung-ho, we're gonna seek out justice for the women kind of woman, and then he's like, you're losing your mind, you need to sit still and like darn socks or whatever, and she's like, fuck you, I'm doing what I want to do. And also kissy face. It was really cute. I really liked it. This is the regular cover. I have another cover that was a special edition from I think the Bookish box that I don't like as much, to be honest with you, and so I'm gonna leave it with this cover. And then finally, I'm breezing through these. Finally, Nothing But Blackened Teeth. So I did talk about this in another video. If I remember which one it was, I'll link it. If not, oh well. This is a tiny little book that's based on a Japanese ghost story, I believe, about the haunting at a hotel. I don't think that the myth is a hotel, but it's about this woman who, based on this ghost story, about this woman who is abandoned at the altar and asks her family to bury her alive in the foundation of the house so that she will always be there when her love comes back. And so this group of kids, idiots that they are, I think they're in their early 20s, go to this place where her bones and body are buried because they think that's cool, and they're going to have their wedding there. And lo and behold, it's haunted, and everybody kind of loses their mind, and then it's over, kind of. So Nothing But Blackened Teeth. It was a great atmospheric, spooky read for fall and winter. All right. Unusual for me, I'm not going to show you anything new that I bought. So disappointing to my mom. I know, Mom. But December was a great reading month for me. I read This Is the Beehive quickly at the end because I wanted to end on an even number for the year. And for 2021, my final number was 110. So I will do a couple of best ofs or worst ofs or whatever videos over the next couple of weeks. So look out for those. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one.